All right, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming. I got some great news. The sun did come up today, and it is a new day, beautiful new day. And as I told our team, the goal is to go 1-0 this week versus UTEP. In regards to the game, obviously the most important situation that happened, we had a very scary situation with Daniel Apu. Daniel was on a pass rush, and he had a long arm technique going against the tackle. He started to slip and fall to his right, and he hit his head, shoulder area on the back of an offensive lineman, and that was probably the scariest thing I've been involved with in all my years of coaching, being out on the field with Daniel, holding his hand while he was on the ground, and the medical staff. I can't say enough about the job they did. We had to immobilize his head and his neck area. Danny did great. He was hanging in there as best he could. Obviously, it was scary for all of us, scary for the team. He was immediately transported to the local hospital and was cleared. That was the good news. He was with us on the flight home. His left arm and shoulder area, he still has some soreness, a little bit of tingling in his arm. He has his movement's fine in every other area of his body. He'll be closely monitored now by our medical staff and our coaches. I spoke with Danny this morning. He's feeling a lot better, a little uncomfortable. When he tries to sleep, he's trying to find just the right position right now to get some sleep at night. But he's just such a good person, got a tremendous attitude, and he'll keep working to get himself better. In regards to the altercation that took place in the third quarter of the game, both Wood Selig and I have spoken with, been in contact with the league office. We should know more this afternoon from the league. I addressed this with our team immediately after it happened on the field, addressed it with our team in the locker room after the game, and then we discussed it at length again yesterday afternoon in our Sunday team meeting. And one thing I will say is we take tremendous pride in being one of the least penalized teams in the league. All 3 years we've been in the league, we're up near the top of the league. We've been up in the top of the country in fewest penalties, and sportsmanship is something that's very important to everyone in our organization. Getting back to the game, we were totally outplayed in the first half of this game. Really, when the game was decided, we were dominated in all three phases by a very good Western Kentucky football team. This is a team that played Alabama closer than a lot of people have this year. Alabama's the best team in the nation. They lost in overtime to Vanderbilt, and they lost to Louisiana Tech, who's the best team in the West right now. So they're certainly a good football team. They won the line of scrimmage. They held us to 67 yards rushing. We had 0 sacks versus their pass game, so their ability to control the line of scrimmage in this game was big for them. They beat us in special teams, and then they dominated us on third down. We were 2 for 13 on third down, and they were 8 for 12. So every area is going to need to be better for us if we're going to get ready to go play a solid UTEP football team. UTEP is currently 2-5. They're 1-3 in Conference USA. In their 5-game losing streak, they scored a combined 56 points in 5 games. In the game they just won at San Antonio in 5 overtimes, they scored 52 points. And I think you need to give a lot of credit to their head coach, Sean Kugler, his staff, their coaches, and their players, because they went into a bye week after that 5-game losing streak. They addressed things they needed to fix, and they went and played a very gutsy game against San Antonio, a game that they were down 14-0 early. They were down 28-14 in the second half. They just kept battling back in this game, and they were down by 8 points in one of the overtime periods. So a lot of credit to UTEP for the way they battled back in that football game. They play hard in all 3 phases. They're physical as a team. I think they're an extension of their head coach, Sean, who's one of the very good coaches, and showed a lot of mental toughness in the way they battled in this game. We're going to need to have a great week of practice. As I told our team yesterday, we need to stay focused on the process of winning, and that's all about planning and preparation during the week, and then you got to execute on Saturday. That's critical if you're going to win a football game. We're 4-3 overall right now. We're 2-1 in the league. as I shared with our league, we're tied with 4 other teams for first place in the East in terms of only having 1 loss. So we clearly control our destiny moving forward, starting this week out at UTEP, because we're in a great position with that, and the goal will be to work to win a game this week. And I'll take questions.
How important is it to, I love your first comment, the sun did come out.
The sun did come up, yeah.
It did, to have a sense of humor off a tough line like this with your players.
Yeah, it's absolutely critical. When you're working with young people, you've always got to let them know that there's something better ahead, and there's things you can control, which is how we prepare this week. There's things you can't control, which was the result from the game Saturday night. So we're going to work really hard on the things we can control, and I guarantee you I'm going to do it with a smile on my face.
It's interesting that, and I guess it's just a process where you just have an immediate pulse with your players, understanding when to get on your case and when to back off. How critical is that during this, let's say, this time of the season?
It's the most critical thing. Every team in the country right now is a little tired, a little bit beat up, and we didn't get back till 3 in the morning Sunday, so the kids were tired when we met Sunday afternoon. And the first thing I did when I walked in that back door is I made everybody stand up, and I said, "Repeat after me. We are a good football team." And that was the message to them, that game's over with. We're a good team. We're going to focus on what we can control.
Are they feeling good about themselves going into Texas El Paso because of that?
Well, they were a little bit shook. We all are. We're all shook from the result that happened Saturday night. But the mindset has to be, now we got to move on. And we've had 3 just tremendous weeks of practice. The last 3 weeks have been our best practices we've had all year. And, I told them the expectation is we're about to make it the 4th week in a row where it's our best practice of the year. I also shared with them we'll cut back a little bit on practice. Traditionally, when we get to this part of the season, the second half, and the constant physical pounding that they go through, they're 8 weeks into the semester, so that the halfway point of a 16-week academic semester, which is critical. So need to keep their mindset fresh, need to keep them in a good place, and that's what we'll do.
Coach, Mike was 28 out of 32 passing. Is it like he's a Bart Starr type passer, or just missed assignments? I mean, only 4 passes missed.
Combination of both. I don't know if I'd categorize him as Bart Starr, because Bart didn't throw the ball as much as a lot of people think, but he's been doing that to pretty much everybody. Alabama is really the only team that kept him from throwing the ball successfully. He started the season throwing for 550 yards against Rice, but that's not an excuse. We needed to play better. We needed to get pressure on the quarterback, which we didn't. We had 0 sacks, so he had a lot of time to throw the ball, and then we needed to play better in coverage in the back end. We got to cover better, and then we got to tackle better when they complete it. They had Western Kentucky's got 2 NFL caliber wide receivers, and they played to their standard in that football game. So that's certainly an area we need to practice better and play better.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you very much for coming. Thank you, 12th Monarchs, and we hope you all can make the 2,011-mile drive to UTEP this weekend. Hope to see you there.